Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the AJ Roberts Show. Today, we are delighted to be joined by my wonderful friend, Sammie Webster, who is the founder of SoulTriibe, a fantastic community that they've created over the last few years. And I was really excited to get somebody like Sammie onto the show to actually explain how it all started, how her journey started, because it resonates so much with so many people out there. As communities all around the country are building and building and building from a grassroots level, mainly because of what we've kind of been through in the last 3 to 4 years, which has kind of nudged that evolution of these communities building. So it was a great opportunity to get Sammie on the show today to explain how she's like founded this amazing community, what it's all about, and what people can expect moving forward. So welcome to the show, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I learn so much from you all the time, AJ. So thank you.
Oh,
But
absolutely welcome.
I created SoulTriibe 3 years ago almost now. And it was I was never awake before. Do we have to use keywords here? Just checking, because in our group we have to be careful. Okay. So 3 years ago with COVID, that was when I started waking up to what was going on in the world. Before then, I was very compliant. I didn't really question very much. And 3 years, I think I was awake after a couple of weeks or so. But as I was posting, I remember my first post on Facebook said, does anyone think that this is a little bit, we've been told something different to what's happening, because it doesn't feel quite right. And I just remember being shut down. It had taken so much courage for me to post it, because that isn't me for confrontation or anything. And it took all this courage. And I was met with so much like attacking and negativity. And I thought, oh, I can't do that again. I can't do that again. That was really scary. And so then I left it for a couple of weeks, but I just couldn't leave it. I just knew, like, workmen that were coming to my house, I was like, excuse me, do you know anyone that's died from COVID? And everyone was like, no, do you? Everyone always on dog walks, excuse me, do you know? And nobody knew. So I was just like, this is not right. So I thought, okay, let's go and create another post. And I think I was met with the same response. And then I realized there were people like you, and we connected. And I thought, I'm not alone. But I knew that loads of other people would be feeling isolated or alone. So I created a group on Facebook to try and connect people so that they weren't isolated and didn't feel like they were going crazy. And it just grew really, really quickly. And it's just become this really lovely community where someone can post that they're having a bad day, and the members will just leap and to help them and give them support and encouragement and love. We're a real heart-led community, and I always say that we're powered by love. But yeah, it's just a really, really lovely space, and we just help connect people. And we've had marriage, and we've had babies, and so it's really nice. But it started off for dating, and then I realized that there were lots of beautiful connections being made for friendship, so I made it dating and friendship, and then just became a really long name. I think it was Awaken Dating and Friendship. And then SoulTriibe just is a bit catchier, and it just became this lovely community. So it's for all those friendship, dating, to connect with like-minded people, so they're not on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the trend of like people who you've seen come and go over the last 3 years within the community would have kind of shifted quite significantly, wouldn't it? Because we've all lived through the same chaos almost, and all the same confusion and a lot of the fear and propaganda. But like, say, the people that are kind of joining right now for the first time are kind of just working out, or having maybe gone through this awakening process over the last year, and are now really trying to step forward and going, I need to connect with like-minded people, because that's what we're all supposed to do anyway, aren't we? We're all supposed to connect with each other. And everything's been about division and ripping apart the communities from within, the wider communities in your local towns, villages, and cities. And then within the wider household, and then within so the wider family, and then within the household itself. So things like this are just like the most utmost important, because that's where the best work happens, isn't it?
It is just so many beautiful connections. And actually, because when I created the group, it was because I didn't have the vaccine, and obviously very feeling isolated and alone. I've lost count of how many friends I've lost, but it's okay, because new shiny sparkly ones are coming to my life, and I'm grateful for that. But it started off for a space that was for unvaccinated people. And over time I kept saying, come on, we need to, we're falling into the divide. We need to be welcoming other people that are awakening as
Mm,
well. And they need somewhere to go. And actually, I've seen a real shift, because a lot of the time people say, no, it was our really special space. And I get that. It was our special space when there was nowhere to go. But I literally opened it up a few weeks ago saying, no, come on, we are falling into that divide. We are community. The word unity is in community. We are there to be as one. We are powered by love, and we need to unite, because all of us together, we are powerful,
mm,
and we can achieve so much. And as we all know, like shining our light, and it's like that match that connects to another, creating little sparks around the world. And so we are for newly awakened people as well. And the response when I posted a few weeks ago again saying, look, now we need to unite. They need somewhere to go. And I'd say 99.9% of those comments were like, yes, yes, let's let everybody in now. We are one.
mm-hmm,
And we are stronger together. So I can see a massive shift, but a lot of us have fallen into fear on the other side as well.
mm-hmm.
We've just tried to be very neutral in the middle. And I do think that, yeah, coming together, all of us, it's really, really special. We can all help each other grow. It's beautiful.
Before the like I'm seeing a lot of people who were very much, not, I wouldn't say bought into the fear, but like, you know, the fear and the propaganda basically controlled their lifestyle and their life choices. I'm getting a lot more people, like loads more, like doing my talks, my courses, you know, just messaging me personally and just saying like, oh, you know, the shots woke me up. Like, I'm totally aware of everything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm very keen to put out, like, saying, you've literally just explained what happened to you and why. And then they're usually like, what do you mean? And I'm like saying that, so your sole choice was to have this experience, because this was what's going to kind of awaken you to the greater stuff. It almost ignites you even more. You know what I mean? At least it should do. It should give you that fire in your belly, that boom, like these motherfuckers have like tried to wage this war on me and my family at the expense of my health and their wealth. And you know, that in itself, I'm finding is really giving people like this real fire in their belly to kind of do something about it and to be their best selves, away from giving autonomy away to your doctor, your lawyer, your police officer, your head teacher, etc. And that's for the same goes for the children as well. So, you know, as you're saying, you've got a lot more people, loads more coming through who are going through this shift now, which is amazing. And this is why it's so important to do podcasts like this, because people need to know where to go. You know, you're not going to get these answers and stuff like that from mainstream media or mainstream channels, and definitely not a lot of social media channels, because people like us are so heavily censored, and groups like yours are so heavily censored for that reason, because they don't want us connecting.
No. And it's really funny that you say that, because sometimes I look at the topical spaces and I'm like, how are they still standing? They've got tens of thousands of people, but they're still standing. How of us, we've got about 11,500. How are we so restricted? And people, I can't even find my own group. If I go through desktop, I can only access it on the app. So many of our members won't be able to find us at the moment. But I just kept saying, how come? And then I realized, obviously, our connections, our love, unity is very, very powerful. But when there's lots of things being posted about topical and fear, that is very low vibrational, and that's what they want us to be. So I just thought that makes sense. It's because we're such a high vibrational
Mm.
group that we are censored a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, I literally posted today, I think it was, that I'm not going to be using my personal profile anymore and putting any energy towards it, because, you know, I think I've got like 5,000 friends, or you know, near as on Facebook, and I'm lucky if like 10 people are watching my podcast that, you know, that stream live on there. And it's the same for my business page. It's got like 33,000 or 32,000 followers on there, and there's lucky if like I get 40 people watching in their live. So I'm just not putting the energy into it anymore. But, you know, and especially because we know full well, if we were to post something that was very pro narrative, it would be shared everywhere.
100%, yeah. And
Uh,
people don't realize that, do they? That's why the people that are just waking up, they've only seen what they've what everybody wants, what these elite, what they want them to see. So they think because they're seeing that, and they're not seeing the other stuff, that actually there's just a few people in the world that are thinking different, but there's millions and millions and millions of us that are seeing this and seeing the true narrative, and exploring things critically, and not just taking what we see. We go and research, and yes, so when you do explore other avenues, and you know that you're with like-minded people, and it just feels really safe, you're just like, oh, okay, I wouldn't have thought about doing this before, but it makes sense once you start unraveling those layers of the onion. It clicks, doesn't it? It just makes complete sense, and it's like a piece of a puzzle, and you just think, whoa, I didn't see this before.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what people are doing now. They're suddenly going, hang on a minute, asking themselves questions that they hadn't maybe asked before. And a lot of that's because of like everyone's kept busy. You know, everything's a distraction to keep you disconnected from who you truly are. And when people understand that at a base level, and that's why I teach what I teach so much in terms of like the power of the mind and the body and what we're actually about as human beings. If people can just grasp that, then they can go, oh, right. So this is why they do this to us. This is why they put this out there. This is why this is designed the way it is to stop us from doing X, Y, Z. Because you know what you're about. You know, you're not just some sack of meat that's, you know, designed to go to work to pay your taxes on everything. Uh, you know, and just and constantly be needing to see a doctor because you're stressed and sick all the time. We're far greater than that. And that's why communities like yours are so important, because it's showing everybody that the world that's been created, or they're trying to create for everybody, is so much bigger than what's being perceived. You know, because you'll only ever be or act or live as big as the world that you think you live in.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why it's so important to have these communities. I mean, you guys do events as well, don't you? You said you've got in Manchester and London.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a bit about those? Because I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people out there who'll be excited to attend.
Yeah, and everybody that's awakened and can see what's going on there, they're so welcome to join us. We've got one in March. I should have found the date before I was here, but I'll put it in the comments. But we've got March in Manchester, and it's a high vibrational party. It's like disco. We've got a lovely moderator, Fleur, and she's organising it. She takes so much pride in organising these northern events, and so we've got that March, and then we've got one in the summer that's organised by Monica, another moderator. And again, they're always high vibrational. And for people that think, oh, I don't know anybody to come with me, then honestly, the minute you go to these events, it's like being with family, because we've got so much in common already. We're aligned with so much that nobody would be a stranger or feel out of place. So everybody is, and they will all be looked after and made to feel really welcome, and they'll just feel like they belong straight away. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and I think I think I have to get myself along, and that's an incentive in itself, ladies and gents. You know, you can come and see my crap dancing.
I want to see you, AJ. Yay.
Yeah, you don't want to see me on the dance floor. It's awful. I'll stick to podcasts.
How bad is this dancing? Maybe we
Uh,
can see you doing a little dance.
yeah, I call it we call it the squaddy two step, where you just literally move one way then the other.
Oh,
That's yeah. All soldiers dance the same.
this is going to be fun.
Yeah, uniform or rubbish. That's what I call it. But no, this is so good. And what I love about you know, talking to people and connecting with people like yourself, and I talk about it a lot, about how being an observer is so important. So yes, put out a lot of content and stuff like that, but I'm always observing like everyone's growth and how groups have just blown up and, you know, grown, and whether that's certain stand in the park groups. You know, some have like failed miserably, but a lot of that is to do with that ego mind stuff, and it's just stuck in the fear loops. You know, so nothing proactive actually gets done. You know, with ideas. So it's really great to see groups like yours. You literally walk in the talk. You know what I mean? And it's that's what's so important. That's what people want. You know, they want to just be able to go, wow, I've got this here. It's like this you're taking aligned organic action, and giving people a space to be able to do that as well themselves.
Yeah, no, it is really special, and you just think we are our tribe. We are everyone that I've met through it has been lovely. We've had I mean, we're really strict as well who we let in, and if somebody is being a muppet, then we've learned a lot of lessons. We used to try and keep the peace, and then we just realized, no, they're just stories and muppets, so we get rid of them. We're quite good at just, okay, they got to go. We keep it really high vibrational, and so anyone that obviously we all have low days. I'm not saying that we have to be all like, yay, it's all amazing every single day. That's not reality. But when people are having those lower days, we are there to look after them and help them through anything that they're going through, and the members just leap to their help then, and they just look after them. So yeah, it is really, really nice. And it's a shame that we've been restricted for so long. For example, we had 6,000 members in pending, so I've gone through them, and because I've been improving so many, because I couldn't see their joining answers, so now I've checked that we've got groups in common. I think, okay, we're aligned, so I've been approving them, and I must have approved about 500 today, and the count of the group has not gone up, and it says that we're experiencing technical problems now. So every time I approve people, that's what I get now, and the count's up. So we are just massively restricted, but we know it's because we're a lovely place, and that, yeah, we're fine. We'll beat them.
You're shining too much light on their dark. That's the problem. They don't like it, you know. And a lot of people are coming wise at the fact that a lot of these social media platforms, although back in the early days, you're like, oh, what a great way to connect with everyone, you know, stuff like that. But like, if you actually break it down and think about it, like all we're doing is just giving all our data and energy into something, never seeing anyone face to face. And a lot of social media platforms, especially Facebook, have literally caused so much divide within the family household without people even realizing the wider family. So I say to people all the time, like, how many people don't see their cousins and uncles and aunties hardly anymore, but they'll like their picture on Facebook from, you know, your family day out in at the weekend. But you know, that's people have been conditioned to go like, and that's doing their bit, you know. Then because everyone's being made so busy, rush, rush, rush here, there, go there, everywhere else, pouring your energy out to everything else and demands living on the rat race and the debt cycle. And again, it's all been created for that reason. And it literally just harvests all our data, you know, and just that's what it's all been, a big data collecting tools, a lot of these things. But again, people are getting a lot wiser to that, which is super important. And wanting to connect face to face and do stuff like that, you know. So I run community calls once a week on my online membership portal, and it's great, you know. I've been kind of doing that side of things for about 2 years now, and we've still got like all the amazing people that joined first time still there now, you know. And you know what, the people who in my online community who had one or two of the shots, they are without doubt the biggest activists, like 100%. You know, they're out there, they're organizing yellow board stuff, you know, and the shift that they've seen in that, you know, they're like wild swimming and doing all these amazing things. And, you know, I'm so proud of it's unreal to see the growth in so many of these people. But they just fully accepted it at a soul level, right? I made that soul choice. I'm now cutting cords with that contract because that's what it is. It's a soul contract you make by giving consent. They've cut cords from that. It's like a liberation, and they're literally living their best life, and they're fully understanding like that was part of my awakening for now.
Yeah, I love that. How empowering, and they must, yeah, just incredible to see and hear that, and just the strength and courage. It's incredible.
And for me, there's no other way to look at it, because it's like, it's what's the alternative?
Yeah.
You live in fear, like where they still want people, and this is why I mentioned it to you before. Like this is why people are so in the medical industry now are like just ramming it down people's throats that all these things are bad, and that all these adverse reactions and excess death and stuff like this, right? I'm like, that's great, but most people who made that decision in the first place listen to their doctor or politician, and it's like now we've got the two types of them people banging on about it constantly, keeping it in the news, keeping it in this, and all it's doing, like the awakened people, and then ramming that down their families' throats. I'm like, well, their decision's already been made and done. You know, 99% of people stopped doing all that stuff ages ago anyway, or wherever they made that choice. Like, so why are we ramming it down people's throats? Like, let's take that away and go, guys, you made that decision to stop because you've got this understanding, this knowing that big pharma isn't all that. That the biggest hoax in human history is the fact that we can't heal ourselves and we need poison to fix us. Like people are seeing past that illusion now and going, they've made a conscious choice themselves. So we need to take that courage that they made that conscious choice themselves and keep flooding that courage moving forward into communities like SoulTriibe, into going out there and understanding how we heal ourselves and how powerful we are. And then that's what we need to do. We need to support people in that process they're going through. Not like, no, you go over there because the decision you made. Do you see what I mean?
It's crazy. And I said, literally have said to people that if ever you needed help from somebody, are you going to say, sorry, but you chose to take that in your arm a few years ago? I don't want to have help from you. No, we just need to unite with it. We're falling into that divide if we don't welcome people, and
100%.
we're just doing exactly the same as the other
Mm.
extreme,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
falling straight into that. So we are all one. We need to be together. We need to look after each other. I just love it. You know, the old days when people used to take a cup of sugar around when neighbors moved in.
Yeah, yeah.
We need to go back to looking after each other and being there for each other and kindness. And that's again with that's what they've wanted. They wanted us to be numb to all this stuff and
Yeah.
not fueled by love. But it's great that so many of us are, and we are shining the light, and it's
Mm.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And I think one of the best things about what I do is the amount of amazing messages I get of people that have like followed my stuff for a while, that have then gone for a big shift, and just finding a lot of the content, or whether it's the podcast or pointing them in a direction of a community or something like that, like so reassuring that there is stuff out there. Not everything, guys, is owned by the globalists and the elites. Like they don't own these communities. Um,
Although I think you've been accused of being a shill. I have too. It was really funny when I
yeah,
changed
I'm
my
still waiting to
brand.
get paid, by the way.
Come on, guys, we're doing this all for nothing.
Yeah.
But I remember when I changed my branding, they were like, "Oh, you've been taken over by Tinder or something," and I was like, "What? What?" I mean, no, really, I wouldn't be working all these hours for nothing if I
Mm.
was.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
is, but as critical thinkers, we question everything. It's exhausting,
Mm.
but we question absolutely everything. So I guess it's only natural. But yeah, we are not. We're the good guys.
Yeah, 100%. It's to be fair, I haven't really received that much stick about all that kind of stuff. But if people do mention that, it's clearly behind lots of closed doors that I never see. So what you don't know is what you don't know. So it doesn't bother me. Um, we can only go as far as the results that people are having and the growth that's happened in people, massive growth as a result of the work we put in,
Yeah.
and the guidance we can help people with, and that's what we've all got to try and do, not try to just be a closed book and try and keep everything to yourself. It's this whole sharing, and I guess in essence, a lot of people that throw those kind of words out there in these communities are often, it's just a reflection of themselves and the insecurities they have at that time, and they actually see you as potentially a person to fix it, but the programming that's still there is literally like, boom, oh no, you're this.
Yes. And also because we're doing it from love, I never thought as a child that this is going to be what I would do. It was never on my agenda. I've kind of fell into it, and probably like you were in the armed forces, and but here we are now. And so a lot of people think, why would they do that for nothing? Why
Mm,
would they? Because we're doing it. And a lot of people, they don't do things for, they want something in return. So when it's heart-led, they question it, and it's
mm,
like, there are really good people in the world, and we want to do good things. So yeah, there's a lot of us as well. There's a lot of
mm.
heart-led people,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
goodness.
yeah, absolutely. And like again, that's what it's all about. And for me, it's quite important showing guys that, because one of the biggest crimes has been against the men of the world. And as well as women, but just in different ways. But what I was trying to explain people as a sort of like a spiritual level, esoteric level, the the attack has been on keeping the heart chakra of the male shut, so
Yeah,
that they don't do anything from a heart space. So then if that's shut, then their throat chakra's shut, so then they're not speaking their truth. This is then shut off, so then the intuition isn't there, the knowings and everything else like that. And then obviously they're completely shut off, like capped at spiritual level. So they literally live their life in the base three chakras, like the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. So when they live in their life in there, the light, that's where your fears lives, your identity, guilt, shame, like all these kind of lower contracted vibrational emotions or states, right? So then the guy, and I know for a fact that so many people resonate with this. Most guys then literally live their life going around the same cycle of working to put dinner on the table, so almost in flight mode, and only thinking they're as good enough just to pull a wage, and then sex, but not in like a loving relationship. It's like, oh, I just need to, or watching porn and stuff like that, and then food and drink, and it's like rinse repeat, and then throw in some football in there and some sport, and then that's what so many guys live their life by, and then they go down a horrible trajectory of trying to make themselves feel better through suppressants, and that's why you've got so many guys drinking energy drinks to get through the day, right, to escape reality, when none of us should be living a life we need to escape from ever. And that's what's happened to so many men, especially in this country, in the UK. I've been around the country and seen it, and it's like if a guy in their 40s now or 30s has a set of abs, like people look at you like a bit weird, because so many youngsters have like got dad bods because of all this poison in the food and the drink and the water and the stress, and the separation and everything, the disconnection that's been waged on youngsters, and they even market us as per the colors of the chakras. So that's what I say to people. Say you got the sex organs, right, which is a sacral chakra, which is orange. Look how they market you. Pornhub, Hooters, just all this kind of stuff. It's all connected to bring that male testosterone down, and we saw it, didn't we, like at the start of the pandemic when you had all the protests. Where was all the men?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that actually. In the post that I would put on, sorry if you can, it sounds like I've got a tiger in the room. I've got a tiger and he's just these happy rolls and he's like, wow.
I'd
So
love to have a tiger in my room.
it's an English bulldog that sounds like a tiger, but yeah, he's making crazy sounds just in case you're wondering. But yeah, when I put the posts on Facebook, mostly it was the men that were, and I was really surprised. It was the men that were like attacking, and I just thought, oh, I found it really, because I was like, where are these gentlemen gone that would never have spoken like that? And it really blew my mind. But yeah, no, totally understand all that, and it's all intentional, isn't it?
But we're getting our men back online, aren't we? Like I'm seeing a massive rise in men stepping forward. They're intuitively wanting to know now, whereas like females have very much had that greater intuition. It's been there to see. They just need to know now, and like what do they need to do to protect, because that protector alpha male barbarian in men has been diminished because of the attack on us. And at the same time, it's like you don't want to be a guy. You want to chop your bits off and join this movement over here. It's been a just constant like barrage from all angles, and that's why they really push the sport, don't they? And the gambling, and which is then fueled by the alcohol, and it's just everywhere you look.
Oh wow. And I remember you saying that you'd actually start watching the football. You
Yeah,
used to
yeah, yeah. Not
don't
not
watch.
saying I hate it. I don't hate it. I just occupy my time differently now. I
Yeah.
look at it and I can see it's just at the top is just so corrupt, and the message to the children is not what it should be. That's my biggest gripe, and the disparity between fans and players now is like there's just no relationship there.
Yeah.
So it's like what are we doing all this for?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not saying the sports right. I'm all for sport and exercise, this, that, and the other. And but I'll go and watch my son play and a grassroots team play every day of the week. Because I still love the sport, but it's just a televised how everything's just designed to kind of program and distract people at that level. So that's why I just kind of I haven't missed it. I've been recording awesome podcasts, people like yourself.
Me too, and I love being here and having our chat. It's lovely. But no, it makes complete sense. And yeah, so and when you think, I used to think that, is this going to change? I've never been into football, I'm not gonna lie. But other things that I was wasting my, like reality TV.
Mm.
And then I got to the point of I was so addicted because I was and this was a few years ago, but I would watch it night after night after night after night. And then I'd think, how many hours have I wasted? So it got to the point and I thought, I think it was like towards the end of this one series or something. And I thought, is this going to change my life if I watch this tonight? And I was like, no, Sammie, don't watch it. So I was like, okay, don't watch it. And then I broke that habit really quick because it is a habit. And you just think, oh, I love what they're doing. I thought I loved the
Hmm.
glamour of, but actually I look back and think, gosh, it's just horrible.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you know, there's subliminal messaging in it, and what it does to people, and you can, especially the ladies, and that, you know, you get all these quote unquote most beautiful people ever on these reality TV shows, and all they do is trying to paint a picture of what you should look like. So women go, I'm not good enough, I want to look like that, so I'll go out and get all these different treatments, this, that, and the other. And all it does is it just takes them further. It's all designed to take you further away from your authentic self. You know, so
Yeah,
behind all those layers, like you should see perfectly created you, like we all are. We're
yeah,
perfectly, we're all perfectly created from birth. Okay, so I often like to use the analogy that we're perfectly created divine modems. We just have a lot of programs and viruses installed in us over the years since we're born.
I like that.
So we need to unplug from all this crap.
Yeah,
You know,
100%. And as we know, authenticity is the highest form of vibration. So yeah, and again, it's all done intentionally on purpose, isn't it? To keep us just dumbed down and in a
hmm.
certain lower frequency so that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
controlled.
Absolutely, absolutely, and again, like more and more people are seeing past that now, especially the youngsters, which I absolutely love. You know, so many of these youngsters now, they just get it. You know, so many of them are struggling in schools at the minute because they can see that half the stuff they're being taught is BS, and that they're quote unquote or indoctrination camps, and the people teaching them are very like tunnel vision, just like your scientists are, just like your, you know, Rockefeller trained doctors are. That all they know is that's those subjects.
Yeah.
And if you question it or step outside it, it's like, whoa, like malfunction. Um, and you know, and that's why so many kids are struggling at the minute, and that we really need to get around them, not to educate them on the stuff that we think they should know, but just like giving them the space to actually express themselves on how they think about stuff and what their views are, what their opinions are, and not suppressing them and saying this is how you should learn.
Yeah.
You know,
No, be free because there's so many people that are homeschooling their children more than ever now, isn't there? For
yeah.
that reason, which is incredible as well. I wish I've done that with mine. Mine
Mm,
are I don't know, but yeah, no, it is fascinating, and it's instead of just being put in a box and you will learn this book that's been taught all around the world and the same history, and obviously that's a whole new thing about what we've been
mm,
taught about history and all the lies. And it's fascinating. I actually love it. I love getting stuck into like one of the documentaries about history. I At school I had no interest in history, and my mum used to say the same thing, going, why can't you retain it, Samantha? I was like, I don't know, but I just couldn't. And now I realize that that was why I wasn't meant to retain that stuff. But when I go and revisit things now, I am so fascinated and want to explore. And but yeah, that's a whole new story, isn't it?
yeah. No, no, we all do, and nearly everyone I speak to in all these communities just get like and just have a thirst for knowledge now because but it's about the unlearning and relearning, you know,
Yes.
the things that we should, or remembering, you know, like as part of this like awakening processes that's ongoing all the time. You're constantly remembering like who you are, where you're from, what you're about, what your interests are, and it just keeps coming up all the time. So that's what's driving a lot of that thirst of knowledge, which is, you know, amazing.
Yeah.
Sammie, where's the best place for people to come and find out more about yourself and Soul Tribe and events? Is if and also I'll put it all in the show notes as well.
Oh, thank you. So we've got a Facebook group, which is SoulTriibe with two eyes, as both of our eyes are wide open. So we've got a Facebook group. However, that is restricted. So we are moving to Mighty Networks, which can be downloaded as an app. And then if you search SoulTriibe in there, we've either got a fun package, and it's not just friendship. We've got manifestation, we've got spirituality, we've got home education, off grid, we've got an area for down the rabbit hole. So we've got all the conversations that are really important to us. We've got natural health for us, natural health for animals. So we've got so much content in there and so many beautiful spaces. So yeah, if they go to mightynetworks.com or Mighty Networks, the app, search for SoulTriibe, and then it's £5.97 a month if they want to do the friendship with everything else I've just mentioned, or if they did want to do a business plan, it's all of that included, but with business networking as well, and
Amazing.
their business. So yeah, it's a really nice space.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
do online events as well, just because it's sometimes, which we aren't the best, but it's obviously serves a purpose, because not everyone can get to certain locations or events, or sometimes they're in other
Mm.
countries as well and a bit isolated. So we hold online events as well, where people can just connect and we just have an informal chat and get to know each other. So we hold those regular as well.
That's amazing. Again, you're totally right. I do it every week, and people, it's like a staple part of people's week. Especially if they like in a job they don't like and stuff like that. It's great to have these spaces that people can come to, because yeah, like you said, not everyone can get to events. So
Yeah.
no one should be left out. And the energy you can create online is pretty magical in itself. So guys and girls, if you haven't done so already, click on the link and join SoulTriibe.
Yes, please. We'd love to see you.
Amazing. Well, Sammie, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us today. I'm sure everyone watching and listening will be very intrigued to check out SoulTriibe and connect with more and more people, in their closer, communities and the wider communities where they live, around the country and that. So it's amazing, and it's great and an honor to get people on the show that have just are normal everyday people that have gone through the same shifts that millions of other people are going through. They've gone through the same BS the last 3, 4 years that's driven them to this kind of point they're at now. And you're actually creating, some magical stuff on the benefit, or for the benefit of other people and them and their children, which is bringing people together like how we should be, because we've all been under the disconnection cosh for quite some time. So now, ladies and gentlemen, is the time to be reconnecting, not just with yourself, but with like-minded people of similar interests, people of similar experiences that have gone through you have. So you are absolutely not on your own through all of this.
No,
There's always many, many people out there that will resonate with you. Um,
100%. Not on your own. You're not going crazy. Listen to your intuition. That is probably screaming at you to listen. So just pay attention to it, and no one will judge you. You'll be coming to a really friendly, welcoming, high vibrational space where we'll look after you.
Amazing. Thank you, Sammie. Um,
Thank
Guys and girls, as ever, all I ask is that you share this with at least one person. I'm sure there's many, many people out there in your circles right now that can do with that community spirit, that uplifting amongst all the chaos that we're enduring at the minute and that's being thrown at us. Don't buy into any of it. It's all a load of BS. All right. The only thing you need to think about is getting you to that next stage in your life and evolution, away from all the nonsense and past the illusions. But for me and Sammie, look after yourself, ladies and gents, and I'll see you very, very soon. Once again on the AJ Roberts Show.